shouldn't be surprised if he isn't a title person. Sir Harry Goldsworthy or something like that. Yes, Mummy. This will be a very good lesson to you, she went on. Never rush things. Always take your time when you are summing someone up. Then you will never make mistakes. There he goes, I said. Look, there, over there. He is crossing the street. Goodness, Mummy, what's the hurry he is in? We watched the little man as he dodged nimbly in and out of the traffic. When he reached the other side of the street, he turned left, walking very fast. He doesn't look very tired to me. Does he to you, Mummy? My mother didn't answer. He doesn't look as though he is trying to get a taxi either, I said. My mother was standing very still and stiff, staring across the street at the little man. We could see him clearly. He was in a traffic hurry. He was bustling along the pavement, sidestepping the other pedestrians and swinging his arms like a soldier on the march. He's up to something, my mother said, stony-faced. But what? I don't know, my mother snapped. But I'm going to find out. Come with me. She took my arm and we crossed the street together. Then we turned left. Can you see him? My mother asked. Yes, there he is. He's turning right down the next street. We came to the corner and turned right. The little man was about 20 yards ahead of us. He was scuttling along like a rabbit, and we had to walk very fast to keep up with him. The rain was pelting down harder than ever now, and I could see it dripping from the brim of his hat onto his shoulder. But we were snug and dry under our lovely big silk umbrella. What is he up to? My mother said. What if he turns round and sees us? I asked. I don't care if he does, my mother said. He lied to us. He said he was too tired to walk any further, and he is practically running us off our feet. He is a bare-faced liar. He is a crook. You mean he is not a titled gentleman? I asked. Be quiet, she said. At the next crossing, the little man turned right again. Then he turned left, then right. I'm not giving up now, my mother said. He's disappeared, I cried. Where is he gone? He went in that door, my mother said. I saw him into the house. Great heavens, it's a pub. It was a pub. In big letters, right across the front, it said the Red Lion. You're not going in, are you, Mummy? No, she said. We will watch from outside. There was a big glass window along the front of the pub, and although it was a bit steamy on the inside, we could see through it very well if we went close. We stood huddled together outside the pub window. I was clutching my mother's arm. The big raindrops were making a loud noise on our umbrella. There he is, I said, over there. The room we were looking into was full of people and cigarette smokes, and our little man was in the middle of it all. He was now without his hat and coat, and he was edging his way through the crowds towards the bar. When he reached it, he placed both hands on the bar itself and spoke to the barman. I saw his lips moving as he gave his order. The barman turned away from him for a few seconds and came back with a smallish tumbler filled to the brim with light brown liquid. The little man placed a pound note on the counter. "That's my pound," my mother hissed. "By golly, he's got a nerve. What's in the glass?" I asked. "Whiskey," my mother said. "Neat whiskey." The barman didn't give him any change from the pound. "That must be a triple whiskey," my mother said. "What's a triple?" "Three times the normal measure," she answered. The little man picked up the glass and put it to his lip. He tilted it gently. Then he tilted it higher and higher, and very soon all the whiskey had disappeared down his throat in one long pour. "That's a jolly expensive drink," I said. "It's ridiculous," my mummy said. "Fancy paying a pound for something to swallow in one go." "It cost him more than a pound," I said. "It cost him a 20-pound silk umbrella." "So it did," my mother said. "He must be mad." The little man was standing by the bar with an empty glass in his hand. He was smiling now, and a sort of golden glow of pleasure was spreading over his round pink face. I saw his tongue came out to lick the white moustache, as though searching for one last drop of that precious whiskey. Slowly he turned away from the bar and edged his way back through the crowd to where his hat and coat were hanging. He put on his hat, he put on his coat. Then, in a manner so superbly cool and casual that you hardly noticed anything at all, he lifted from the coat rack one of the many bed umbrellas hanging there, and off he went. "Did you see that?" my mother shrieked. "Did you see what he did?" "Shh!" I whispered. "He's coming out." We lowered our umbrella to hide our faces, and out from under it. Out he came, but he never looked in our direction. He opened his new umbrella over his head and scurried off down the road the way he had come. "So that's his little game," my mother said. "Neat," I said. "Super." We followed him back to the main street where we had first met him, and we watched him as he proceeded with no trouble at all to exchange his new umbrella for another pound note. This time it was with a tall, thin fellow who didn't even have a coat or hat. And as soon as the transaction was completed, our little man trotted off down the street and was lost in the crowd. But this time he went in the opposite direction. "You see how clever he is," my mother said. "He never goes to the same pub twice. He could go on doing this all night," I said. "Yes," my mother said. "Of course, but I will bet he prays like mad for rainy days."